Taz Effect hits you like a wave, a fresh new spin on the news you crave. Turn the page and you see the light, a different angle that feels so right. No more waiting for the truth to show. Every story starts to glow. Daily news in a way you didn't know. It's the Taz Effect that steals the show. Open your mind, let the colors flow. Daily news in a way you didn't know.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect, daily news in a way you did not know you could use. For those tuning in over the radio airwaves, thank you for tuning in at gcpr.live. For everyone else that is watching and listening from all across social media, thank you for tuning in. Well, let's jump right into this Monday madness. Skier called loser by Trump flashes L sign after successful qualifier. American free skier Hunter Hess got to the end of his successful run in Olympic halfpipe qualifying, then leaned into the camera. He bent his left thumb and forefinger into the shape of an L, lifted it to his forehead, and pointed at it with the other hand. Apparently, he explained, I'm a loser. Loser. The 27-year-old received that label from President Trump Sr. at the start of the games after skiers were asked at a news conference how they felt representing the country during the Trump administration's heightened immigration enforcement actions. Hess said that representing the U.S., and I quote, brings up mixed emotions and is a little hard. Hey, Nana J. I just think if it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the US, he said. So, yeah, I just kind of want to do it like for my friends and family and the people that supported me getting here. Mr. Trump Sr. lashed out at the comments on Truth Social, calling the Olympic skier a real loser and saying that it's too bad Hess is on the Olympic team. For someone heading a faction of a political party, a major political party in the United States, whose tagline for over a decade now has been winning and telling people that there's going to be so much winning, they're going to be tired of winning, is always doing things to hinder winning. Loyalty to an idiot does not denote qualifications. But that's all historically non-deconstructing white folks know, is proving their loyalty to those that they perceive to be the most powerful. It's not about anything else. It's not about anyone else. It never has been, and it never will. What the? Excuse me. Okay. All right. Now, if you recall, at the end of last week, we discussed SCOTUS shutting down, thank you, Jay, shutting down Trump and his. Sorry about that. Accidentally hit the sound over on Substack. Sorry. Trump's obsession with tariffs. He believes that that's going to be his long lasting legacy. I mean, it is, but not for the reason he thinks. Well, coming from Politico, Republicans quietly celebrate the demise of tariffs. That relief might not last. We know over the weekend, Trump has already claiming that, well, you know what? I don't need congressional approval. I can do Yeah, you have 150 days. And at 150 days a pop, you can keep implementing these tariffs. You can still think that you are strong arming the world and that you're just taking over things, and you're not. The one thing that you are going to do is accidentally inject some small businesses and some carriers with cash. They're going to recoup some of the hits that they took because of your tariffs, Trump. Let's get into it. Republicans quietly breathed a collective sigh of relief when the Supreme Court struck down President Donald Trump Sr.'s sweeping tariffs on Friday, but that feeling may prove fleeting. The court's decision to upend Trump's global tariffs comes as affordability concerns and the cost of living continue to galvanize voters ahead of the midterms. Many free trade friendly Republicans spent the past year worrying that tariffs would drive prices higher, destabilize the economy, and hurt their hopes of hanging onto control of Congress this November. It's very possible that the Supreme Court just threw Trump's economy a life preserver, and the president is refusing it and demanding an anchor. These tariffs economically have not played well into the affordability narrative, said Matthew Bartlett, a Republican strategist and former Trump State Department official. It just has not been helpful, full stop. Trump's hard line on tariffs has proven particularly difficult for some GOP candidates to navigate in battleground states where manufacturing and agricultural industries have been hit the hardest by trade measures. Several of Trump's allies in farm country and Republicans encouraged him to pump the brakes Friday and reassess his path forward. But the president's announcement of 10% global tariff immediately after the ruling had them back on their guard. We have very powerful alternatives, Trump said in a press conference Friday afternoon, announcing he will sign the new tariff under Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974 and rejecting the possibility of legislating a new measure through Congress. I don't need to, he said. It's already been approved. No, it's not, and he does need to. Congress is in charge of the purse. Full stop. Full stop. And all of you traditional Republicans that consider yourselves constitutionalists, why are you silent while he's going against the one thing you've built your entire personality trait upon? Only minutes earlier, Speaker Mike Johnson had suggested in a post on X that Congress would work with the administration to find the best path forward. And here's the thing, Mike Johnson, like a true snake in the grass, slithered his way into this position, and the power he sat back and so patiently and methodically waited to gain isn't proving powerful, and is going to be a waste of his time, and history is not going to be kind to him. Polling shows that Trump tariffs are broadly unpopular. A 45% plurality of Americans said in a November political poll that higher tariffs are damaging the U.S. economy in both the short and long term. The view falls along partisan lines, with Democrats far more likely to say the levies are damaging the U.S. economy. We are losing industries yet again. People are packing up their factories and taking them overseas to avoid tariffs. And with more jobs leaving the United States, that decreases the plausible amount of consumers we can have in this country. So people aren't even looking to include us in emerging markets or continue to include us in established markets. You spend so much time calling so many other countries shitholes. Surprise, surprise. We're the shithole that's going to get even shittier. How you like them apples? I've said this before. You've allowed yourself to be compartmentalized out of reality. And what do I mean by that? Each person serves a duality. You are both consumer and the producer of the goods and services to be consumed. But you've convinced yourself that you're a worker and everybody else is a consumer. Because what do you say? Well, we're paying for you to do this and I work, as if you're not also a consumer. So when these places are shutting down, you are removing yourself from that reality. You're forgetting that, okay, you may have a job, but if all these companies shut down, what are you going to be able to buy? And who's going to sustain your job if no one can buy the products and services that you all are providing? Y'all could not keep your sanity when we got put on punishment during COVID-19. What do you think is going to happen when we no longer have hospitality as a career field, as an industry, when you're not going to have a choice but to sit at home? But there's nobody making movies, making TV shows, making anything. You're just getting perpetual reruns. There's no new games because this is where we could plausibly be headed. Y'all didn't think about that? If more and more industries, more and more companies move outside of the United States, we will not have enough people stimulating the economy to buy certain things. So there will be industries that will shut down because the wealthy can pack it up, go to another country, sustain it, or just decide to rebrand to another industry. We've seen it tons of times. What do you think these long-standing liquor companies did during Prohibition? Do you think that these people were living in the lap of luxury by a few dozen cases in comparison to what they normally were selling? Going to speakeasies and private homes? No. Just like Coors. You know, Coors Light, the mountain beer people, they got into luggage, ceramics, porcelains. They will rebrand. They will continue to make money. They'll just change the name. If they don't already have the name ready in their umbrella corp. Coming from The Independent, Trump's CIA pulls 19 intelligence reports, including analysis of white nationalism and LGBT plus issues. The Central Intelligence Agency has withdrawn more than a dozen intelligence reports, including some that cover LGBT plus activism, white nationalism, and contraception. Director John Ratcliffe ordered the official retraction or substantive revision of 19 CIA intelligence reports that the agency claims did not meet intelligence community standards and failed to be independent of political consideration, the agency said on Friday. And before you go, well, this isn't just what I voted for. This is what. For those that can see me, let me move out the way real quick. This is why today's graphic is what it is. Just comply, bro. Just comply. Went from don't tread on me to I'll take it. I'll take that, take that, take that. I thought y'all were waiting and preparing your whole lives for this Civil War 2.0. I thought this was when you were going to rise again. I thought this was why we needed to uphold the Second Amendment the way that you needed the Second Amendment to be upheld. Where are all y'all well-regulated militias? What happened to all the training videos you've been flooding the interwebs with? These documents were identified by the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, which recently reviewed hundreds of analytic reports published over the last decade, the agency noted. The CIA completely retracted 17 of those reports, which predate President Donald Trump Sr.'s second term, and pulled 2 for revisions, according to the Washington Post. The agency publicly shared redacted versions of 3 affected reports. One of the reports, titled Women at Advancing White Racially and Ethnically Motivated Violent Extremist Radicalization and Recruitment, was released in October 2021 under former President Joe Biden. Did you really need a report for that? You could have just opened up any social media app and heard anybody talking about it. Racially motivated excuse me, violent extremists are considered a significant security threat under Joe Biden's administration and Trump Sr.'s first administration. Federal law enforcement under his second administration has focused on left-wing movements, including Antifa, which he labeled a domestic terrorist organization last year. The White House also claimed in September that radical left violence has permeated the nation in recent years. Where is this radical left violence? And the left only got radical when the right had to reconcile with the fact that the left wants equity, or at least the illusion of equity. That's what's radical. And please, for the love of all things holy, if you're going to label yourself correctly. There is no way you can be living a completely non-traditional, non-conservative life and go, but I'm conservative, because you believe that being conservative means that you're just conserving your way of life. I need you all to go to the origins of things. When conservatism, liberalism, and leftism began, what were they liberal about? What were they to the left of? What was being conserved? Because those are the ideologies that remain to this day, regardless of the political parties that they are ascribed to. You cannot just change the meaning of words because that makes you feel comfy, cozy inside, and you don't want to go through actually changing things. And some of you all are conservatives and you try to play liberal and leftist and worldly and equitable for the sake of public adoration. Some of you all are so conservative that you don't want partners. You want adult children that can't escape you. Oops. Some of y'all will get what I'm saying. Some of you won't. Some of you all will get butthurt. I don't give a damn today. I don't. Another report, Middle East, North Africa, LGBT activities under pressure, was issued under former President Barack Obama in January 2015. A third report, worldwide pandemic-related contraceptive shortfalls threaten economic development, was published on July 2020 during Trump Sr.'s first term. The CIA said these documents exhibit substantial deviation from the president's expectations that the CIA's workforce remains independent from a particular audience agenda or policy viewpoint. So why is he interfering? And why is he pulling previous reports? A senior CIA official who spoke to journalists on the condition of anonymity said the report dealt with inappropriate topics for the agency to cover and in some instances relied on biased sources, according to the Washington Post. The official added that training for analysts has been retooled. The intelligence products we release to the American people today, produced before my tenure as CIA director, fall short of the high standards of impartiality that CIA must uphold and do not reflect the expertise for which our analysts are renowned, Ratcliffe said in a statement. They do know we know what words mean, right? There is absolutely no room for bias in our work, and when we identify instances where analytic rigor has been compromised, we have a responsibility to correct the record, he added. Democratic Senator Mark Warner, vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, criticized the move. The President's Intelligence Advisory Board plays an important advisory role, but it is not a substitute for the independent analytical judgment of the CIA and the broader intelligence community, he said. When a politically appointed body appears to be dictating what analysis is acceptable, it risks eroding confidence in the objectivity of our intelligence, he added. Republican Senator Tom Cotton, who chairs the Senate Intelligence Committee, praised Ratcliffe's announcement and says he's been sending these kind of reports back to the CIA for years and observing what they can observing that they contain no intelligence. So in other words, for years, the chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee just admitted on the record that unless the reports line up with his assessments, he deems them incorrect and lacking of intelligence. Interesting. Coming from CW39.com out of Houston, Texas, DHS confirms ICE agent shot, killed driver during spring break on South Padre Island. The Department of Homeland Security has confirmed to Border Report that special agents with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement were involved in the shooting death of a man during spring break on South Padre Island. In a statement to Border Report on Friday, a DHS spokesperson said an officer shot at a man's vehicle on the popular island resort to protect himself after the vehicle's driver failed to slow down and struck an agent at a traffic accident they were helping local police to contain. On March 15, 2025, Homeland Security investigation special agents were assisting the South Padre Island Police Department with traffic control after a major accident. A driver of a blue Ford intentionally ran over a Homeland Security investigation special agent, resulting in him being on the hood of the vehicle. If he ran over him, how did... Upon witnessing this, another agent fired defensive shots to protect himself, his fellow agents, and the general public. The driver was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced deceased, the DHS spokesperson said. How is that protecting the general public or anyone else? Have we learned nothing? A Black woman was just killed just last week because agents once again decided that killing the operator of a motor vehicle is safer. Just to let you know, the training that ICE and Border Patrol are receiving is decreasing. Each round of recruitment that they go through, they're getting less and less training. And because the precedent has already been set with the whole back the blue people, it is assumed, actually at this point, it's a requirement that the public, we civilians, be more prone, hey Nightbird, more cold-veined than those that are trained. We're supposed to be able to handle these situations better than the trained professionals. Now, some of you may have heard about this over the weekend. Some of you may have not. But let's get into some facts about this because, of course, people love to sensationalize everything. Coming from Forbes.com, U.S. warns citizens to shelter in place in parts of Mexico after cartel leader's death. First of all, stay out of other people's countries, especially right now. Stay out of other people's countries. With the egregious things that y'all have stood by, perpetuated, repeated, voted for, etc., stay out of other people's countries, okay? And whatever happens to you in another country at this point, oh well. Because that's how y'all feel about those people that are here in this country. Oh well. At this point, if you are pale, a contested coalition member, and everything in between over in Mexico, and you get caught up in the crossfires, oh well. Whoop-de-doo. The same sentiment that you have towards how people are being treated right now is what we're giving back to you. Don't send me no GoFundMe from somebody's family. I don't give a damn. I'm not putting up no prayers. No, you're not getting a thought, a prayer, a cough, a nothing. You understand me? Whoop-de-doo. The State Department warned U.S. citizens in several Mexican states, including in the tourist destination Puerto Vallarta, to shelter in place shortly after the leader in Jalisco New Generation Cartel was killed by the Mexican military. Here is the thing. United States, read the room. Read the room. Why are you at any Latino or Hispanic resorts? Read the room, especially what y'all are saying publicly online, the way that y'all are trolling people online, especially when multiple of y'all are expatriating already to Mexico for health care because you can't afford to live here, etc., etc. Read the room. What? Not trying to put that by I thought white was right. I thought all things white was on the right. That was the standard. Then why for a good time? Even for a short time, y'all always want to go to melanated places. Get your asses out of Jamaica. Get your asses out of the Bahamas. Stay away from Abu Dhabi. Get out of get out of it. And y'all sitting here, y'all have perpetuated flat out lies regarding Mexican cartels for years. They're showing you how they get down with the get down. They're showing you how they get down with the get down. And the thing about it is, y'all will live through this history. And while this history is going on in front of everybody's faces, so many of y'all will believe the lies that somebody tells you. Somebody will be like, I know the truth about that. No, they're going to come over here and they're going to mess people up because it's already started. It's already started. Nancy Guthrie been missing, what, 2 weeks now? Now, yeah, you know, the drug cartel got her. Last week, she was a distraction from the Epstein files, which distracted nobody, to now the cartel got her. The head of the cartel is dead, okay? He is a spirit right about now. And I mean no disrespect, but that's the truth. And y'all out here pushing and repeating. But you know that Savannah Guthrie's not, she would do that. Yeah. They killed him and they came and took her as retaliation. Retaliation against who? She's not related to anybody in the current administration. So what power move would that be? The United States didn't kill the cartel boss. So what the? Y'all hooping and hollering about our lack of justice. You hooping and hollering and complaining about people not having the ability to use their particle particles to rub anything together, for anything to make any type of sense. And this is why. And let me say this. I said it last night on the Villain's View, but I think it was missed. And I can understand how it was being missed because somebody don't know how to freaking act. When it comes to the news, I don't miss. Take that as being conceited. Take it how you want. I never said that I was going to be the fastest, but I do strive to be the most accurate. Y'all are truly pissing me off. If you don't have the attention span to watch my video from start to finish, that's fine. That's cool. Do not comment. And I mean it. Because to sit after the money, the time, the energy that goes into my content, to sit and tell me, well, don't forget and to list off what I have explained in detail in the video, I'm going to start blocking you. I'm going to start blocking you. I told y'all in 2026, people are going to stop playing in my face and you're going to stop wasting my time. You can come with the respect and you can come listen to me, or you can go elsewhere. You are not obligated to be here. If you like conspiracy theories, if you like to just see what you type and hear it read out, this ain't the place for you. If you want to be the know-it-all in the room, this ain't the place for you. If it's more important for you to be right and be centered, around Taz ain't the damn place for you. But before we close out this second month of the year that happens to be Black History Month, let me be very, very clear. I am over this canon moment that people seem to need to have, where it's like they feel that they've made it or they hit their adult puberty or achieved their freaking kink by just being disrespectful to me or dismissing my damn intellect. Because while you're being dismissive, while you're trying to be humiliating, you're doing it via a platform that you wouldn't have if it wasn't for me. Get offended, be pissed off. I don't care anymore. I really, truly do not care. Nothing that I bring is half assed. I don't sit and just read headlines and skim through a paragraph here or there and point out a few words and give you all, oh, well, what I think or regurgitated information. Regardless of how I feel, regardless of what's going on, I'm here. But I promise you, after this warning, you come here or anywhere you see this face or hear this voice and tell me what I've already explained in detail on top of you not even getting it right, I'm cussing you all the way out and then I'm going to block you. I'm going to leave it up long enough. I'm going to leave you unblocked long enough for you to catch this wrath because I am over it. It's not problems. I'm just silent right now. All righty. Moving on. Nick Reiner pleads not guilty to murder charges in the deaths of his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner. Nick Reiner, the 32-year-old charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the fatal stabbing of his parents, famed director Rob Reiner and photographer Michelle Singer Reiner, pleaded not guilty in a Los Angeles courtroom on Monday. Reiner waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing and no bail was granted. Reiner, who had a shaved head, wore brown prison issued overalls, and had shackles on his wrists during his appearance. A preliminary hearing is tentatively scheduled for April 29th. Rob and Michelle Reiner were found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles home late last year. Reiner has been in custody since the initial arrest in December. The charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole or the death penalty. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Holtman told reporters outside the courthouse after the hearing that his office has not yet determined whether they will seek the death penalty. And let this case be a reminder, none of y'all should be true crime writers. Because remember when the story broke and so many of y'all had created these fanfics all over the interwebs? Then when you found out it was the son, no information got, y'all just ran with shit. Please stop. You cry and complain about the lack of justice in the United States, absolving the fact that you are tainting jury pools and yourself. And then when actual, factual, credible information comes out, people ignore it because people would rather take the salacious over the factual. At launch party, Massey mocks Trump, talks true evil of Epstein. And yes, there were additional updates regarding Epstein. Full breakdown over on YouTube at TazJ77. And yes, Mandelson, former ambassador to the United States from the UK, has been arrested also for corruption while in office. Basically, Cliff Notes version for insider trading. Once again, the Epstein Maxwell files contain a multitude of crimes, a multitude of investigations. Should this information be looked at and properly vetted, a multitude of investigations will happen globally. Okay? Multiple charges globally will happen. This is not a scheme that Todd set up. Okay? They're not arresting these people on these charges to shake them down regarding the sex charges. No, there are people that Epstein engaged in financial crimes with, and there are people that he engaged in illicit, intimate crimes with, and there are people that there was a culmination of the both and multitude of other things. No, you can investigate multiple things at one time, and people can acquire multiple charges at one time. Hello, have we forgotten that Trump exists? So once again, please stop trying to add extra seasoning to an already over-the-top, egregious story. It does not need a little oomph added to it. There are not conspiracies below everything. Y'all remind me of a first-year college student that took 2 hours of a psychology course that now, oh, what's the deeper meaning behind it? Like they're going to family gatherings talking to the 6-year-olds. Well, why exactly did you do this, Timmy? Because somebody gave me a marker and there was a plain wall, so I drew on it. Well, what does it mean? What's the deeper? Everything does not have a deeper meaning. You know, sometimes people commit crimes just because there was space and opportunity. Sometimes they just want to see if they could get away with it. Sometimes they didn't realize it was a damn crime because it just felt good to them. I'm not justifying anything, but Jesus Louise, please stop. More than 100 people drove hours from Indiana, Northern Ohio, and Eastern Kentucky to see the man who President Donald Trump Sr. called the worst Republican congressman. Well, that changes every 3 to 4 business months now, doesn't it? U.S. Representative Thomas Massie kicked off his reelection campaign with a headquarters launch party February 21st in Florence. I was worried nobody would show up, Massey jested when he took the stage in his northern Kentucky city near Cincinnati, and I'm just blown away. Jesus, if y'all are going to describe shit, describe it correctly. Florence, Kentucky is a good 20 minutes in good traffic from just hitting downtown Cincinnati. And let's face it, Massey knew the people were going to show up. Massey is using the Epstein-Maxwell files and the victims to be his claim to fame. He wants to look like a superstar, and that's it. And him going toe-to-toe with Trump is proving lucrative. Because y'all have shown that y'all like Splenda MAGA. Y'all like Sweet and Low MAGA. Y'all like Timu MAGA. That's why you like Fetterman. That's why you like Gavin Newsom. That's why you like Massey. That's why you like Tallarico. Massey, a 7-term incumbent, is facing his toughest Republican primary since he took office in 2012. Yeah, because people finally know that you exist. They didn't place a name and a face together. Because a lot of times, especially in Kentucky, people run uncontested. So they don't really campaign for certain districts, certain positions. And for a long time, Massey was under the radar. But I promise you, Massey wants to move up the political ladder. He has aspirations for more prestige, therefore more profitability. Because if he was so anti-Trump, why wasn't he in the first term? If he's so pro-victim, why hasn't he been stepping up regarding all of the other victims from all of the other cases? Gotta love that magpie. Yeah. Because he's a 7-term incumbent. He's been in Trump's social media crosshairs since their working relationship took a nosedive last year. Let me repeat that for y'all. He's been in Trump's social media crosshairs since their working relationship took a nosedive last year. The writing is on the wall. Trump is moving into his lame duckness. And before you go, see, she just hates Trump. Throughout the history of the United States presidency, once we made it constitutional that there would be term limits for the presidency. Eventually, every president that gets a second term becomes a lame duck. They lose their political influence. And before you go, but Taz, former presidents campaign for other ones. Yeah, they have name recognition because people in the United States are freaking simple. But as far as political power, they have none. By about midway through their second year of their second term, they have no more elections to run for. They have no more political power. There's not too much that they're doing. They're a figurehead, keeping the seat warm, getting things prepared for hopefully them to pass the baton to somebody else also in their political party. That's where Trump is. So you're going to see a lot of people jumping ship. It's not because they finally woke up. They're not woke. It's not that, oh, they found their hill to die on. No. There's no muscle to hide behind anymore. There's no intimidation factor anymore. MAGA is completely attached to Trump Sr. Specifically Trump Sr. Nobody else can pick up the torch and carry it along. MAGA is not going to go after and beat people with hammers, shoot them in the face, send them anthrax, show up at their house and try to play shoot 'em up cowboy to protect anybody but Trump. They're not going out on a limb to lie and risk their freedom for anybody but Trump. And the GOP knows this. So now they have to separate themselves. And they're members of the Republican Party, the GOP. They don't want to be lonely. They want friends. They want to be invited places. They're the people that had kids and smile and act like they like their grandkids so that somebody will come and maybe not necessarily take care of them, but at least visit them from time to time. And they want that to continue. So they're going to need to have some people that are politically correct to vote for. And members of the GOP are going to jump ship and give those folks someone they can vote for that's not a Democrat, because they don't really care about people. They haven't had an epiphany. They're not trying to be better. And all those litmus test people, Where are their grassroots campaigns right now? This is the time to establish their platforms and introduce people to their candidates and their political parties in order to make certain third parties more viable on the federal level, because they're already viable locally. They're already in the trenches locally, but they're not going to do that. That's not the freaking goal. The goal is to be is deceitful enough to still be in the inner circle. Hate isn't popular. Hate isn't unifying. But they still want somebody to give a damn about them. They still want a shoulder to lean on. They still want a warm body to share a bed with. They want somebody to invite them out to the movies and to brunch. Why do you think it's always the GOP and conservative GOP that are all over the internet? Why would you date a conservative woman? Why don't liberal blah blah blah? We can still be friends for a difference of opinion. But at the same time, these are the same people who want to troll you and tell you that you're wrong and that you're stupid and that you don't understand, that you're a libtard. Yeah, I need y'all to keep in mind what's going on. Do not be manipulative right now. Don't be. Don't be. Like I said last night, and this goes for crosses a multitude of arenas. But when I said last night, some people keep you around because they love how you love them, not anything else. And that crosses over to a lot of different things. The most egregious, horrific, tyrannical, savage people on the planet love to be around those who stand on the right side of on the correct side of history, I should say, because they know that those are the ones that are caring. Those are the ones that are going to make sure that they get up in the morning. Those are the ones that are going to make sure that they're still breathing. They're the ones that are going to give a damn that they're hurting. They love how you love on them. They love how you're nurturing. Why do you think you can always tell when their butt hurt, when they're like, well, I thought you was the tolerant left. Everybody was loved over here. I don't feel loved over here. I'm sorry. If we do not align ethically, morally, I don't want to be around you. Why would I force myself to be around you? You've shown that you don't care. You don't want me there. So I won't be here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is why MAGA, Ultra MAGA, specifically right now, that particular faction of the GOP, you notice they never ask certain questions. They always want a justification for why they shouldn't be accepted. Not why you shouldn't be accepted, why they should be accepted. Why they shouldn't be excluded. And I find it funny because recently I had someone tell me with the full chest something was my fault, that I was wrong. I was like, okay, a little bit I was. If we eliminate the cause and just focus on the effect, yeah, I'm 100% wrong. But it's real life and we're adults. So we're going to keep the cause there. We're going to discuss the cause and the effect. And their question to me, why would I still want to engage with them? And I've since thought about it. I don't. But that's MAGA. They'll tell you you're wrong. And instead of saying, hey, explain to me why, if you're doing me wrong, explain to me why I should still be around you. Their question is always, you're wrong. You're definitely wrong. But why you want to hang out with me? I don't. The cause is you, and the effect of that is President Trump. Dean Johnson, 2709. You said, how did I become so stupid? To follow up with, okay, you said, how did I become so stupid? Interesting way to say that you can't follow the conversation. I wouldn't have put that out in the ether, but stupid is as stupid does for you, Dean. And then you said, the cause is you, and the effect that is President Trump. What was the cause? What if the effect is President Trump? How did me as one person have an opinion create him? Then you said you were wrong in regards to what, Dean? Then you said it's more like they don't want to hang out with you. So you didn't get the analogy, and you're throwing a fit thinking that you're having a gotcha moment with me. So me explaining how MAGA is always fighting to be around non-MAGA means that people don't want to hang out with me. People that I said I don't want to hang out with. Are you okay, Dean? Do you need to go see your street pharmacist, Dean? Is the pipe a little empty? Really? Really showed me there, Dean. Ah, all right. Thanks, twin. Dean was yeeted. It's always interesting. Once again, trolls. Regardless of the platform that you decide to creep in on, one, as I asked, why are you here? If you believe that you are correct and the rest of us are incorrect, why are you always trying to get into our spaces that you deemed are incorrect? Why would you want to be associated with people that you say are incorrect? You contend that the rest of us that do not align with your thought process are wrong and harmful and detrimental to society. Why do you want us around? That child's comment was possibly as painful to read as it was to hear you say it a lot. Yeah, it was painful. But I ask this question to people a lot. And folks get upset because in different settings, even in different scenarios, I ask this question. If you believe that someone is so detrimental to you, why are you keeping them around? Especially when they're offering an out. Because those that are not viewing through or listening through YouTube, you didn't get a chance to see. Dean was on the YouTube side of things. It wasn't until, because Dean was in here for a while. It wasn't until I said, I don't want to be around them. I don't want to be around you. If we don't align, I don't want to be around you, which should be something we should all be able to agree with. If we don't align, we should not be around each other. We shouldn't be a headache for one another. But isn't it funny that when you offer a solution, I'll stay over here, you stay over there, we don't need to discuss. No. No. Let me be in your face. I don't want to be in your face, and I don't want you in mine. No, let me be in your face. I don't want that. That's not beneficial to any of us. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It is. No, it's not. It is. Because all of this is your fault. Okay, if it's my fault, then I will just back up over here, stay to myself, and bother no one. No. Come back over here with me. No, I'm the problem. For the betterment of everyone, I'll leave. No. Okay. I know that I'm not the problem. Would you like for me to list out how you're the problem? Stop talking to me. That's how they do it. And then just give them another period of time. Here they come again. Got to be in your space. Got to be in your space. Got to be in your space. For some reason, that's not a good enough solution for them. It's not. It never is. An actual solution is never a solution for them. It never is. It never is. For the person who's actually at fault, in this instance, the political party, it's never a solution. And it's because the only thing that they have to avoid looking at the mess that they've created is you. It's you. Then respond with insults and nasty remarks. Yeah, all going, but why can't it's just a difference of opinion? Why can't we be? And this is what I say: they eliminate the cause and want you to focus on the effect. They'll come in hot. You N-word monkey, money, libtard. You just be like, your mama, you dummy. So, I can't believe you said that to me. How do we get to me saying that? I'm not saying I was right in what I said, but how do we get there? Oh, that don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter. My thing is, I'm always weary of anybody, especially an adult, that wants to eliminate discussing the cause and wants you to focus on the effect. Until you are the cause. Until you are the cause, they don't want to discuss it. Like I said, Mr. Dean sat there for a while, didn't say anything until I was like, I don't want to be around folks like that. Well, you're the problem. Okay, so why are you here? Why you want to be a part of everything we got going on over here? Why you coming over here to pee? Why you it's before we close out, let me give you a story. For those of y'all that have been around here for a while, y'all know I have a nemesis and you know who the nemesis is. Those that are new, nope, not a joke, not a drill. I do have a real life nemesis. I know it sounds like some Doofenshmirtz type stuff. Kind of it is, okay? I didn't set out to have a nemesis. I thought we were, going to form a great partnership. I thought we were going to be thick as thieves. Joke is on me. I was fervently manipulated. But we're all comfortable with the whole prospect of learning from home, online schooling, work from home, things like that. Now, think back to the days of Skype. Y'all remember that? And I realized, along with another relative of mine and a close family friend, hey, we're splitting office space, the cost of office space and the physical room. And the businesses that we have, people really do not give a damn about meeting with us face to face. If they do want to meet face to face, they want us to come to them because they need to see how our product services are going to fit into wherever they are. Like they need visual representation. So we were like, okay, we signed this contract. We got X amount of months left on this. We started renting it out for people to hold auditions. There are different things because it was an open floor plan. The person coming at me, it's been a while since I've spoken about my nemesis, was criticizing me and making it seem as if I didn't have a job. Now, mind you, I said 3 people. One I'm related to, one a long-standing family friend. So all 3 of us are doing this. All 3 of us at this point, essentially, we're working remotely, working from home, however you want to describe it. Okay. Then all of a sudden, this person started working from home. Hmm. People started asking them the same things and saying the same things to them that they had put out into the atmosphere that they were asking me. Completely shut down the cause as to why people were asking that and wanted to make me the villain. Well, you only asked me that because of her. And they're like, nope, we didn't talk to her about it. She don't know that we done asked you nothing. She probably does now because you done made a big stink about it and it probably got back to her. But no, this is what you put in our head. So we're just asking you, like, how is it different that you're doing it than when she was doing it? And she was established before the work from home. You just, here you go. And in other instances, I'm sure we've all experienced that, where people will say things, do things, and then when you react, they want to cut out the cause and focus on the effect. That is MAGA. And also, please, please stop acting as if MAGA is stupid. Now, I know I've had my jokes about them being dumb. Do they understand how everything works, the order of operations? No, but they're not stupid. These are people who create AI videos, deep fakes, and preemptively lie to preserve their heritage and culture of white supremacy. They're not stupid. They're not obtuse. They know why they're lying and what they're lying for. This is why they come out the gate with all these things. Let's not forget, when what happened in Minnesota happened, within 72 hours, they had fake police reports, fake mugshots, all these things on these people. That's not stupidity. And you can't keep calling them stupid while also attributing genius level diabolical prowess to Trump. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Okay? Okay. Now, do not forget tomorrow, February 24th, Tuesday, is the State of the Union address. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, over on the Tube of Views at Taz J77. Of course, the only way you should be watching this crap is live with your girl. Okay? All right. And a little meta that today. So yeah, we will be doing that. And yes, later today, we'll be continuing with Learning Through Literature series, the memoir Nobody's Girl of Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of the more outspoken victims of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. There are Epstein updates available right now on YouTube. Oh, and at 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central, there is still time to sign up for open discussions on race that will be taking place today. I think we're all caught up. Yeah. And this week, I am working on getting some content up on ye old Patreon for you all to getting over there. But in the meantime, in between time, make sure you are subscribed on TikTok and on Substack. Get your education on, okay? Otherwise, as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Make sure you don't do anything that requires bail in this economy, and most important, lads, it only requires bail should you get caught. So what don't you do? Get caught. Okay? I will see you all later. Cheerio, pip pip.